Are you ready?
This is the D-Generation Clix podcast with your hosts,
Who is Ravage?
Ryan Ruttman,
Ravage.
Hand me that bottle cap.
Miles Kane,
Hand me that paperclip. Grab that twine. Gun wrapper.
Daniel Schwab,
We
Best friends.
Asgard to Mouth, and Pete.
Cause I'm just me.
Welcome back to the D-Generation Clix podcast. I'm your host, Ryan, and with me as always are Miles, Dan, and Pete. Miles, what's going on with you?
I'm back to work, which is nice. Sunday, we had our amazing D-Generation Clix AEW pay-per-view. It was good mostly, but I left with a sour taste in my mouth, so I decided to watch good wrestling after that.
And what did you go with?
I watched Dynamite Kid.
All right. Now, Dan, we haven't checked in on your positivity levels in a while. Where are you with those?
Show you some positivity.
That doesn't sound very positive.
You keep asking that way, that's what you're gonna get. But otherwise, I'm doing just dandy.
Great. Pete, we did miss you yesterday at Clix. How are you doing?
I missed you boys too. April's not shaping up the best for the old Clixamid things. Not hot so far. But we've got some time to turn it around here, so I'm cautiously optimistic. I do want to add to Miles' review of the AEW D-Generation Clix live stream pay-per-view. I enjoyed it all up until the ending, honestly. And it's fun to talk to people during it. So, if you ever hop into the server when we're doing that sort of thing, please feel free to contribute to the overall debauchery of the pay-per-view event.
Yeah, it was good until the end.
That was a good beard scratch at the same time.
That was my arm, actually.
Oh, all right. It's a nice microphone then.
Oh, this microphone's like super hot. I'm scared to fart, honestly. I mean, you guys would hear it.
Yes.
I look forward to hearing it today.
Oliver and I did get to play a little bit of Fortnite this weekend. We met up with Caleb Reddick on Saturday and played a few games, and then I started sorting Hero Clicks all weekend, and I had so much stuff laying out. I got some Spider-Verse stuff finally sorted out between all the cases that we bought and sealed that we played at Champion Clicks Open and Adepticon. It's just like packs of cards everywhere and figures everywhere, but they're finally sorted out. And then I still have, a little bit of collector's trove. I never went through the cards, so I have all the pieces put away, but the cards are still sitting in a huge pile from everything that we got. So kind of in the middle of all that, but it feels good to get that kind of started at least. And then I did get to finish a YouTube video for the Iconics First Appearance X-Men. So that's up on our YouTube. If you haven't checked that out, please head on over and let me know your thoughts on it. If it's a video type that you'd want to see more of, let me know, and we'll put out some more of those. But let's go into the news. We did finally get the Worlds dates. I think we got it like 2 weeks ago, but we were pretty busy with Adepticon and did not get into that. So we did get official information for Worlds of 2025. It's back at Graceland in Memphis, Tennessee this September, Thursday the 25th through Sunday the 28th. No information on hotel blocks or events or anything else, but you can at least plan your time off and travel. And that's really the most important this early on. Pete, what do you have for the Bookwood Report?
Bookwood Report.
Hello, friends. It's time for the people segment, the Bookwood Report. This week, Bookwood really didn't have a huge week, but he did have a big Adepticon, so we'll give him a little bit of a slack. He got himself a zombie unicorn and an Arachnite. There was quite the conversation around that Arachnite, let me tell you. And he also got the WWE Clix and the ring, so I'm anxious to see what he's up to with that. And then he finally got himself a Wonder Woman 80 Felix Faust. Now, unfortunately, I missed Monday night, so I didn't get a chance to play Bookwood. Does anybody have any game information for our favorite local tryhard?
Well, we'll get into the games today, but yes, we did get a little bit of Bookwood action this Monday, and we did crush him, I think. Oh, actually, Dan, what happened in your game?
We unfortunately lost because collector, yay.
All right, well, we'll get into that because we all played each other this Monday. Earlier this week, we did try out a new format at our local venue for our weekly play that we are dubbing Duos. It's a 2v2 format, except both you and your teammate are on the same map. Each player builds a 200-point modern team. You get 2 actions, 3 with leadership, and then both teams are considered friendly to each other for all game effects. So leadership, you'll be able to remove a token from your teammate's character. Telekinesis, you can target your teammate's characters. You can carry your teammate's characters. You can use a team player TA to copy a team ability from your teammate's characters that they can use. If a character references a friendly character, you can target them with your characters or your teammates' characters. And then you share sideline and map choices with your partner, and each player gets 2 terrain markers. And then for initiative, if one teammate has a theme, you add 3 to it. And then if the other teammate has a theme, you add 3 to it. And if they share the same theme across both teams, then you add 3 more. And then both of you roll towards the initiative and add all that together. And then the way the turns worked was team 1 player A goes, then team 2 player A, then back to team 1 for player B, and then last team 2 player B. And we wanted to make sure that the event had an even amount of teams, so we locked in the event at 8 players so that we had 4 teams and everyone would play each other. I teamed with Ali, and he really wanted to play the Ultra Chase Collector, so I tried to build something that worked well with that and went with a robot theme and played Wolverine and LCD because I've really been wanting to play them with the Dream Ruby. They already have Shape Change, and they have a power that lets you re-roll a single D6, and then I also played Kevin, who's a robot, and so I could re-roll that a 3rd time with the Marvel re-roll. So that was kind of fun. I also added the new Ellie Deathlock, who just got kind of murdered every game. And then a Timebreaker Pog just for mobility since I didn't have TK. I was definitely missing leadership, though. Our first game was against Dalton and Harris, and they built a pass theme that was pretty neat. They were using Flash Raptor, Aquanix, Deceased Black Adam, Zala Jor-El, Madame Xanadu with the tarot cards, King Arthur, Predegaton, and Ultra Humanite. Is there anything else that I missed there, Dan? Or is that it?
Did you get Aquanix?
Yes.
Then no, I think that's everything. That sounds like everything.
Yeah. They pretty much
They had one shot.
we had the sideline stuff. I don't have them all listed down. I'm trying to remember stuff off the top of my head. They pretty much had full map reach though, and they got to choose map, so we didn't really have an option to move out because we did not build our team like that. So we kind of just stayed back, and they came to us, and then we just went back and forth. I do feel like the limited action total and alternating turns really helped prevent the games from getting one-sided really quick. Dalton and Harris did win this one from us. I think it was a pretty close scoring game. We had Deceased Black Adam, I think, on his second to last click, so he was almost dead, and the time got called. But yeah, it was a fun game. Then we played Dan and Looper. Dan, do you want to go over what you guys played?
So we played a warrior theme. So I played Diana with the Hell Cycle. I played the Prime Craven with the +1 longsword, and I played the new Heimdall from the Rainbow Kit with Avatar of Taweret for free because he is a herald. And then Looper played Beta Ray Bill at 100 with the Stormbreaker for free. And then he played the new Thor Spidey with Mjolnir for free. And then he played Shuri, and I lent him my Attume so he could have Attume on Shuri for the 6 range. And then we had To Me, My Hammer, Rivalry, I think. I can't remember if we... No, did we not have Rivalry? Yeah, we had Rivalry. I had Pim Particles on my sideline, and then we had Ares, Mimic... Can't remember if there was anything else, but yeah, those were our 2 teams. So
those are the big ones, yeah. And Beta Ray Bill was at 100 points, so he had that hypersonic speed at the beginning, and then I think you guys won initiative and chose to go first, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then we took you guys to Brock's bunker, and we kind of tried to stay in the closed area as much as we could, and then you guys bursted through, and I was able to run up my Wolverine and LCD, and I started the round by pretty much getting a crit hit pulse wave on you guys. So that was pretty devastating.
The worst thing was that I probbed you into it. It was like you were gonna re-roll your 1 dice, and I was like, "Cool." After you do that, I'm gonna prob you, and you're like, "Oh no, I'm not gonna do that now." And I'm just like, "Well, I don't know where we're at here, so I guess just prob it." And then it turns into a crit hit. I was like, "Cool." I just got to like get Looper annihilated over there.
Yeah.
And
So
myself.
so I think who it was Diana took 2 and then knockback. Beta Ray Bill took 2 and then knockback. Shuri took 2 and then knockback. I think Spider-Man got knocked to his stop click. It definitely set the pacing up for the rest of the game. So then we were able to get Shuri out of there. I think did Diana actually live?
No, Diana lived. She did the Lord's work.
Yeah, she stayed. I think she hit her senses when Oliver tried to get her too a couple times. And we weren't able to get Spider-Man either. What did we clear out? Ollie collected Beta Ray Bill.
Yeah,
That was
but
the
that
big
was
one.
it was Shuri and Beta. That was it.
Okay. And then a couple of one-shots because he used the rivalry so he wouldn't have to roll on him.
Yeah, and I used pin part. I think I used pin particles somewhere, I think I did.
Yeah, at the very end, because you did a Blades and Ares bomb, I think, and Oliver hit his shape change. You nailed me though on my Wolverine and LC. What about your first game against Jeremy and Bookwood? They played. It was a scientist plant Ultra Chase collector team.
So I think they ended up winning initiative. They put us on Bloodstone Maze, and then they just immediately shot the barrel with Collector because it was like, well, I had the barrel on the team. That was one nice thing, but I couldn't protect it. It was like, well, I'm just here, so being outdoors is not good for that. So, and then it was just they placed all the plant markers basically like right near our starting area, so there was no really like hiding or anything. So I think I destroyed one of them during like our first turn, and then basically we were just trying to set up. Like I tried to alpha to kill Ivy, and I just swung and missed with Diana, and I probably should have Ares bombed with cause like I still have the call Craven over because it was the first attack, but I just it didn't register to me that was like the correct course of action. So unfortunately that just didn't happen, and then I think they just slowly chewed through us. Honestly, that was the problem between the plants and Collector, because Bookwood had played Collector and he had the universal weapon, the motorcycle, and the chameleon flute, so he could copy Spider-Man. So he's just a 4 through 6 senses, and then he pulse waved us one turn too. So it was a lot of just nonsense. It was very just tough to deal with. Like Collector's tough on his own, but 200 points of plants on top of it was just rough. And like I had more reach than Looper, so it was hard if I went up to like have him follow me, and I didn't really, but I also didn't want to drag him into the fight because like him not being able to do anything with the piece that I've pulled over just felt not great. So it was like, well, I'm just gonna go, and I tried to use Craven as best I could. I did get people in grave markers, but I think they ended up getting carried out of it anyway, so it didn't really matter. So we ended up losing, unfortunately. There, I don't remember what it was. I think Craven died. My Craven died and my Diana died. I don't remember what else happened there, but I think that's about what happened by the time got called. So
Okay, and then yeah, they were our third game, and I thought we were gonna get destroyed by them, but I had some super hot rollouts with Wolverine and LCD, and some probs that kept Kevin alive. And originally, Ollie's only goal was to collect Bookwood's collector, but as the game kind of progressed, it just wasn't going to get to 7. And so once I told him that just wasn't going to be enough time, he pivoted, and he was able to score a bunch of points. He got Ivy, Perdegaton, and Man Thing, I think it was, and that might have been it, but that was big enough, so we ended up taking that one. And the match between Jeremy and Bookwood and then Harris and Dalton was super close, and it actually came down to they brought in Mimic when somebody tried to pick up one of their Jeremy and Bookwood's Mimic got brought in for their equipment. Do you remember what it was? But
Yeah, it was the Bloodstone.
the Bloodstone. Oh yeah, the Bloodstone. That's right.
Yeah,
And
no,
so,
he had to. they had to because Flash Raptor was about to just Ares bomb. So, or not Ares bomb was about to attack,
Oh, okay.
and he picked that up. Yeah, and they had to do that because they would just got destroyed
So it
because that
stopped the
stopped Flash Raptor from attacking.
okay,
Yeah.
so yeah, it stopped the Ares bomb, but it removed the Bloodstone from the game, so it put them up 10 points,
Yeah,
and so they
it's
ended up taking it anyway.
yeah.
But this is kind of like a trial run for a bigger weekend event that I want to run at our store later this year. And I was kind of hoping for some feedback on like just how the powers worked or turns and interactions and all that. But everyone just kind of, I think, really liked it as it is and had a ton of fun and said don't change anything. And they want to run it back again soon. Dan, is there anything you want to add to it since you played in it?
No, I mean I really liked it. I just should have assumed it was going to be hard meta and should have planned accordingly. So that was my only like not critique but thought on the event. Otherwise, it was really nice. I really like enjoyed it. It's a fun like style of play. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think you can honestly like even make it pulp or change some of the build restrictions where you have to play like 3 characters at least on your team or something like that just to kind of change it up a little bit. Or if it's just like a fun local event, say you can't play like the top 10 from the meta or something like that. But Pete, are you interested in playing in it next time? You missed out.
Yeah, it seems really fun. I mean, it seems super fun, and everybody seemed like they were having a good time. I did watch some of the stuff that you guys streamed in that, so yeah, it seems super cool.
And then we streamed one table on our YouTube channel and then the other one on Facebook Live. I'm going to try to rip both of those and put them on one separate video altogether. But you can still check them out right now if you want to on YouTube or Facebook. But that's all we have for that today. So we're going to get right into the listener questions.
Your ass better call somebody!
Ryan Bookwood, thoughts on AEW Dynasty and which time did Jericho get screwed more, this past weekend or back in '99 when he won the belt from Triple H and got it taken away? I joined in on the last hour, and I was only kind of partially watching since I was organizing Spider-Verse, but the second to last match was pretty good. And I do remember that Triple H Y2J match very well because Jericho was my favorite wrestler back then, and I was so stoked when he won it, and then I was just like broken when they took it away from him immediately.
Yeah, no, he got screwed more here, and here they had him hit it because it was Mask versus title, and he hit him with a baseball bat, but Bandito's mom and sister told Aubrey Edwards, who wasn't even refereeing it, about the bat, and then they restarted the match. He got way more screwed because at least in storyline reasons, Triple H had a legitimate gripe with the referee because it was a fast count. He got screwed here because he won it fair and square because that's like them restarting every match that ends in a DQ like that. Like you can't have another referee come down and just change it just because the mom and his sister complained.
Yeah, I was really confused because I was watching or I was like checking in on some stuff on Facebook and I saw that he won. And then next time I opened up Facebook, I saw that he lost and I had no idea what happened.
Yeah, that's exactly why. They go, no, he hit the bat behind the steps.
Dan, you watched it for a little bit, didn't you? I think you were already gone when I jumped in.
Yeah, but no, it was pretty interesting. I mean, I liked. I mean, I had a good time. It was a fun watch. It's like I don't know a lot of the people, but like I know who Chris Jericho is. So,
Pete, where were you with that?
I think he got screwed more in '99. Honestly, they were never going to take Bandito's mask. Like I said that going into the match. The match is actually pretty decent, honestly.
Oh no, I'm just saying it like as he got screwed more in here because he legitimately won it, whereas the fast count. But that's going, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was still '99, but it's fun to watch pay-per-views with Dan because Dan's commentary is pretty great. Oh, Oh, I didn't see that coming. Oh man, they're just trapping the crap out of each other.
Oh yes,
Pretty good.
so good.
Actually, I missed Matt Vanderloop's first question. I guess not a question, just a statement. Duos was fun. Let's do some more of it. So, C Looper's ready for more right away. Regarding WWE stars with albums, check out the Luchagors. That sounds terrible, but also like something Miles owns. Miles, do you own that?
I do not, but I know who they are. It's Lita's band,
Oh,
but I
okay.
don't have them now. Yeah, no,
Once again.
the moment they did the Edge, when her and Edge got together and screwed over Matt Hardy, was the moment I disowned everything of Lita. I no longer liked her. She was no longer the Lady of Extreme to me.
Yeah, that was rough.
Once again, listener statements, not a segment on here. But when it is, you guys, you and Bookwood Looper will head up the charge.
Going back to Bookwood's question, so number 2 to second Matthew Vanderloop's thoughts. The format was fun last night and a good change of pace. I look forward to trying it again. So see, another person that just wants to run it right back. Then 3, how are ELO rankings calculated? I think you told me one time, but I forgot. Who wants to take this one? Because I have no idea.
So Elo is a lot of things. Data Ray Bill, he's on an episode of Dial H. He can go more into it. But what the Elo is going to be doing is going to be looking at your win-loss, your points scored, your points forced, your opponent's win-loss, your opponent's score forced and score against. And so it's based off of a lot. So you're if you lose to like people that aren't ranked or lose every match, then that's going to hurt your elo more than losing to people that are in like the top 20, because they're going to be having a higher elo for all of that. Yeah, it's a lot more nuance than that, but pretty much it's based off of how many points you score, how many points you allow, essentially, and then the win-loss record of you and your opponents.
How are you in first place?
Because I have the most, I don't know.
Okay.
I only have 2 losses to the 13th and the 2nd ranked player.
Okay.
And then I'm averaging 224 points a game, I think, scoring.
Okay, yeah, so you do score a lot of points.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not totally sure
Yeah,
how
because
it
the
works.
average, like that.
Yeah,
but it's pretty much, it's based off of your win-loss and everything, yeah.
I just like seeing the information and seeing the names go up and down on the chart. So I appreciate the work that he puts into it, and I do think that there's some really like worthwhile information in there. Thoughts on Cap's Cookie Quartet? I think it looks amazing and is probably one of the best Iconics pre-made sets we've had. I think it looks awesome. All the characters have playable point lines. I just wish Quicksilver had the Brotherhood of Mutants keyword. That was my one letdown. I know it's not based off the time that he was on the Brotherhood. It was when he joined the Avengers. But that was really the big thing that I missed out of it. But that Scarlet Witch is just crazy support on her low line. And it's a pretty neat Captain America with the way that he can throw that shield. And so his higher lines look really fun. So looking forward to getting that and playing him.
Well, no, I think you're absolutely right, because like they deserved those keywords, him and Scarlet Witch both, because we had a Sabretooth with the Exiles keyword that wasn't the Exiles Sabretooth. So if you're gonna just give keywords because a character had that, by all means give them Brotherhood, because because that's the Brotherhood Quicksilver, and I don't think we have had one since Avengers from 2007, I think, was the last like Brotherhood of Evil Quicksilver costume.
Yeah, with that costume. There was the one from, was that Empire? No. Yeah. Was it Empire? That had the lighter blue one and then the trail, the speed trail behind him. I think he got the Brotherhood of Mutants keyword. He was kind of a fun piece. And then there was that LE one. I didn't like his costume.
Wolverine the X-Men was the last one we had.
With that one. Okay, yeah.
The green costume.
Yeah, so that was the only thing missing, is I wish I had that. Otherwise, the set itself looks pretty cool. Dan,
I wanted him to have hypersonic speed.
Oh, yeah. Dan, did you get a chance to look at the set?
It looks fun. I mean, it's some of the point values are a little funny, but it's or like what they do at certain point values is odd. Like Scarlet Witch makes no sense at top dial. I'm like, I would never do this in my wildest dreams. But otherwise, they're really like they're pretty well balanced. They do some really neat stuff, and they change up things quite a bit, which is really cool. So I think that's like what those 400s should do, honestly. Because I already enjoyed the Wakanda 400, so I was really excited to see what this did.
Yeah, I think they all have 3-point lines, and 2 of them are playable on each one for sure. But like that lower line on Captain America where he has charge is not great. So
Yeah, but you're not using him for that. You're using him at 25 points for that team up card.
yeah, but I mean, I don't know. That's not why I would play that Captain America then. I know you can kind of do more, like, I don't know, more competitive like tricks and stuff with him that way. But as far as like these sets, I think are more fun than anything else.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Pete, did you get a chance to look at the this set?
Yeah, I'm very excited for it. I've liked both of the last 2 400s. The Wakanda set has a lot of fun pieces you can absolutely build onto a Wakanda team. And this not only gives you access to fun stuff in Avengers, but you can also bring past in with that team up card and make it Avengers, and then have some healing and ability to take off action tokens constantly with that cap at 25 points. So I think they're very cool.
That Scarlet
Whoever's
Witch,
on the design team for this is doing a great job.
That Scarlet Witch seems like a piece that you're going to be playing, I think, a lot. I plan on seeing her on a lot of Mondays.
25 points, she is phenomenal. I mean, it takes care of so many things that you want. So, and just the healing is always great. Like, and yeah, handing out mystics. I'm all right with that. Yeah, we're good.
Then we got Brian Harrell. In the past, it has been said that people aren't using the spot correctly. I was wondering if Aquamiles could give an explanation as to how to properly use him. Thanks.
Well, the reason why people weren't playing him correctly is because they thought the marker was just 4 from itself, so you could constantly just keep moving it. That's not how you do it. I think to play spot correctly, I think you want to try and use all of his tools on a team build. He gets around Mimic by placing terrain, so you can get rid of someone's barrel for a quick 5 points. You can get rid of their phone booth, so you don't have to worry about sidestep. If you're with plants, you can move them plants. If you're with grave markers, you can move those. Elevated the same way, with Ghost Rider being so prevalent, you can get elevated drop on top of a Ghost Rider or a character that you don't want to be adjacent to offense. Yeah, the main reason why people weren't playing him correctly was just because they were just moving the spot within 4 of itself rather than 4 within spot.
So, Miles, you did a phenomenal job of explaining that, but he specifically asked for Aquamiles. And I just want to point out that why we love Aquamiles, he's never actually been on the podcast, because Miles and Aquamiles are not the same person.
No, I'm pretty sure Aquamiles is dead. Then be the rumors.
That's rough.
Ooh.
He's been gone for a while.
He has.
Yeah, we had
Like a flying flaming phoenix fish, he'll rise from the ashes. Or something.
We had someone at Champion Clix that just kept moving it 4 squares in a battle royale every turn, and it didn't seem right, but no one questioned him, and he was just like teleporting people to starting area, and turns out that's not how it works. But that was a good way to explain all the other stuff, because he does a ton of stuff, and I don't think people understand exactly what he does with the moving and the being able to teleport terrain and all that. So nice.
Yeah, and if you want to like people that are worried about spot running the meta, get a 0-point pog or like with rollouts or something, and occupy that marker, because he can either place the spot marker within 4 of him or place a terrain. And if you have a character that's on top of that marker, he can't place in that marker, so he's gonna have to waste an attack on a 0-point figure, which can be his free flurry or his power action. So right there, you're just completely nerfing it, unless of course he wastes the free to then move somewhere else, but that would have messed up the entire plan of where he was going to begin with.
Yeah, there's definitely, if he takes off, which I think he might, people will have to start building for him, and that's a good strategy. Then we got Ben Groenhide. Wheels of Vengeance will presumably rotate after Worlds, taking the motor and Hell Cycle along with it. That will be a very dark day. Do you think move and attack options should always be available through equipment in Modern to open up more options, or is it too easy to break figures this way? I think they should always be an option. 15 points was kind of a lot, but it still made a lot of figures more viable that only had like stealth or phasing teleport. So I think that's always good for the game when you're making more pieces viable.
15 points is exactly why it didn't break figures.
Yeah.
Like you're paying 15 points. It's not like 10 points. So yeah, that's the one thing that I don't like about the glider. At least sidestep or something, you know?
Yeah, I mean it's giving a lot too for those 15 points. It's not just the move and attack. It's you're getting like defense power, you're getting increased speed, and usually it's some other bonus like the free mover one. So the 15 points is definitely worth it all. But it's all something like that should always be an option for sure. I'm gonna miss that actually when it goes, and so I hope they keep printing stuff like that. Dan, you use I think the motorcycle a ton too, don't you?
Do. It's a good piece of equipment. I mean, they did something similar with the glider. You don't have move and attack, but you do have like a suite of powers that you get per click. And I'm assuming we'll get something similar with the destroyer armor in Smash and Destroy. So I'm guessing they're keeping this trend going to an extent. So I just don't know about like straight up move and attack.
Yeah, I've liked the way that you can play multiples of them, and I really hope they keep the gimmick going. Pete, where are you with Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Dan.
No, I was just gonna say it's good. It's good, and I like that it's like, what do you call it? Overly simple, I guess. It's not like the equipment that we're used to. I feel like where you get like, here's this effect because it's like more tied to a character, but motorcycles like here, stats and powers. That's it.
Yeah, and it came at a time too where there wasn't many options for equipment, so it was it was a good time to have it, or at least having it during rotation, after rotation. Pete, where are you with the motorcycle and hell cycle?
Well, I'm going to miss the motorcycle and health cycle just because Miles is going to miss it so much. And I'm also going to miss the bit of just to put a motorcycle on it because that's gotten a lot of use on this podcast.
It's going to be a sad day.
I'm still going to say it. It's still going to say
in silver, put him on a bike.
Yeah, no, in Modern, like, oh man, you know what would have been really nice is if you could put a motorcycle on this figure.
Everything had 2 point lines, even if it didn't. What it was and then what it was the bike cost. So I am gonna miss that part of it. But I will say I didn't play the bike a ton. I've kind of more recently started adapting it because for some reason 15 points just seems like unbelievable to me for equipment. I have no idea why. Like 10 points is like where my brain stops. But that was the balance of them is because you're paying 15 points for all that. And I agree. Giving move and attack to pieces that don't have it and making it playable, if you even want to do it like fun, because most people aren't going to play pieces that don't have some ability to either play sidestep or move and attack. Like you're just constantly at a disadvantage unless it's a straight support piece. So I think they were honestly really great equipment and I will miss them.
Yeah, it's always a little disheartening to see a piece that you really want to play, but they have like top dial stealth or like phasing or something like that. So keeps going. All right, then we got Peter Marshfield. So I'm curious with the talk of the upcoming watch list, do you think it would be reasonable to just have sets rotate at the quarterly watch list following 2 years after the set is released? They just recently moved rotation to After Worlds, and I think that's perfect. I don't think I'd want to see that changed. Would you guys?
No. Post Worlds is fine because we have a perfect endpoint.
Dan, would you change that, Pete?
No, I like the post Worlds. Everything kind of just rotates at the same time. I don't with the revolving rotation like that. You just wind up, I think, with more people not knowing what's modern and what's not, and I think that's a bigger issue. Like, you know what I mean? That at least that's where my head's at with it. Is I wouldn't want people being like, oh, well, this is still modern, except it's not.
I really just like that it's like the After Worlds, it's like you have that culmination of everything that was legal and then it's fresh right after. So I think it's great. I thought it was always weird when they had it. They had rotation, what was it, after Nationals or something like that?
Gen Con? Yeah, with Gen Con, which is weird.
And
they
then,
had some sets so Gen Con was like, what, 2 months before Worlds? So you had 2 months to completely change your build because sets rotated. Yeah, it felt really weird.
And then you had like a less of a list of pieces that you could play. Yeah, so this is definitely how they should keep it. Do you think this is a solution to making sure sets get the same amount of time in rotation, or is this too much for everyone to try and keep track of in a game that's already relatively complex? I wouldn't mind them going to every set gets 2 years instead of 2 Worlds events. I think that could be better. I don't think it's ever been really like officially announced, right? It's just that the last 3 years, that's just what it has been. If it sees 2 Worlds, then it's rotating.
Pretty much, yeah. That's what it seems, yeah.
What do you
So
guys?
some C3.
Where are you guys at with changing that?
I'm actually fine with the way the rotation works, honestly. The 2 Worlds feels good, except I feel like there's the sets that come on in summer that are the only ones that really suffer from that. But like,
Yeah, that's the.
Yeah, like it
that's the only
feels
thing.
it feels weird that we're gonna lose like Deadpool and Weapon X after this Worlds, or we should at least, right?
Yeah, I mean we are. There's certain pieces I'm sure people won't miss from that set, but at the same time, yeah, it does feel weird for that set to be already going.
Yeah, because they're only, what, 15 months?
Yeah,
Yeah, so those are the
that's
sets that really get hurt. I wouldn't mind if there was like a 2 year thing instead of the 2 Worlds events. Pete, do you care at all about what's modern?
I mean, I do. I I just I don't know what the perfect solution is. I like the rotation date after Worlds. I think that's ideal because that's kind of the culmination of that whole year, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I do not like the 15-month sets, like the summer sets that get cut short. Like I that kind of bugs me a little bit on some level in a collectible game that those ones always kind of get crapped on. But I don't know if I guess conceivably if they could get more consistent with like quarterly watch lists, then a quarterly set rotation at the same time wouldn't be that bad either if it was set at 2 years, because people could certainly plan for it based on that. But then you come into the thing that you run into sometimes where set releases get pushed around or they get delayed. So I think that gets to be into a whole different conversation at some point, just because of that. But I'm always a fan of more to do in any format than less,
Mm-hmm.
which is one of the reasons why I gravitate towards silver. So much is because I just want to be able to put things on the table and play them. So that's me.
Should the top 10 figures from the meta of the last event be banned from builds from the next upcoming major event? Is this a way to force the meta to adapt and evolve? I think it's a good event type for like a small local event, but removing those pieces from huge events kind of seems weird. And then you have to decide what qualifies as a big event and that like what counts for each one, like what events affect what events. And then, we actually finally have players starting to get more creative with their builds. The bigger issue now are the support options. There's a small list of like standout support pieces and sideline pieces that seem like you have to play them, but the meat of a lot of teams at Adepticon were pretty different. So I don't think we need to do anything like that, honestly. I think we just need to see a little bit more variety and smaller point support pieces.
Yeah, the top 8 all were different teams. Even if a few of the support pieces were the same, they were all different. So, I mean, I don't think that, the meta is adapting and is evolving when you compare it even from Champion Clix to Adepticon, which was, what, a month?
Mm-hmm.
It was
Not even.
way different.
I think it was like 3 weeks.
Yeah, 3 weeks. And it was it was way different. Now, there's a few outliers that some people came and played the same team because, it was only 3 weeks. But, I mean, I don't think any of the top 8 teams were in the top 8 at Champion Clix.
No, and I think Matt Leaners was the only person that made top 8 with Ghost Rider, right?
Yeah.
And Ghost Rider was like the main part of the 2 top builds at Champion Clix. So, yeah, it's just it's kind of like the Wild West right now, and there's lots of options. So I don't know if trying to even change that right now is a good idea.
No, I think yeah. No, I don't think it's a good idea either.
Dan, would you change anything?
No, because it's. I think you're stifling people, and they're just going to be more upset that they can't play the piece they like. They're like, well, I want to play this, but you can't. So I think that would just stifle things more, and I don't really think you want that. So I think what is appropriate is like a ban watch list is just that needs to be more regular. So
Yeah, that would be healthy for the game. Pete, where are you at with this one?
No, I'm not sure what problem he's trying to solve with this. I do like what he's thinking. I mean, it's not bad to throw out ideas for sure. But I think this is too heavy-handed. Honestly, I just think it's too heavy-handed.
I think it would have been
So
better.
if you're
Sorry.
specifically looking to modern, right, and you're changing the meta every event, that just doesn't seem fun to me. I mean, definitely have a ban or watch list though. Like, yeah, take bad game elements out of the game, but don't force players to play different stuff they don't want to play just because something was successful at one event. If we don't really have one piece that's like dominating currently,
Right, yeah.
right?
Like if it was
I
a
mean,
year ago with Kong, this maybe would have been
yeah,
something to kind of talk about, right?
sure, absolutely.
But it's just it seems like right now we're in a really good place, so messing with that really doesn't make any sense.
well, it was Kong and it was Blackheart, so it was a combination of things.
Yeah, and if you actually look at the top 10 from Adepticon, collector's 11. So you're gonna have all collectors now. No Chair Panther. Hey, it's not good.
Is that popularity though, or win percentage? No, it wouldn't be win percentage if he's 11th, right?
5%. That's it's win percentage.
Oh, it is okay.
The top 10. Yeah.
Oh, but also when you ban, like, if you just straight up ban the top things because they're the top things, the next things are just going to rise and still be played usually. This is like the first time where there's just like a ton of options. Otherwise, usually there's always that, handful of pieces that are the best.
I just think it's not a problem. So don't try to mess with it just to mess with it.
Yeah, I agree.
Like,
No, you can do the top 8 variety, and that answers your question for why it doesn't need change.
if you have something different like Beetlejuice, which is like just changes the game, it isn't fun, and like that's different, right? Like that's something that's potentially, makes an event not fun. But it's not just because something's successful won an event, it made the event not fun. Peace, and the player just had a really nice day.
Yeah.
So don't do that.
When it comes to home improvement projects, which trade do each of you hate having to try and do yourself the most? Personally, I hate having to do electrical work, but plumbing is the bane of my existence because just the slightest mistake and the whole job is a waste if you haven't now done more damage to your house. Yeah, I won't touch electrical or plumbing. Usually I just pay someone to do it right, so I don't mess it up and it's just done right the first time.
Yeah, I was gonna say if I was ever having any of that work done, that's something I would just get paid to have done. I'm not gonna do that myself.
I can usually do a little bit of like wood stuff.
Yeah, I can do everything, and I hate everything. No, mostly I hate roofing at my house.
Yeah, that sounds terrible.
Yeah.
Pete, do you have something?
Yeah, and electrical I'll do, but like I'm not. Yeah, I mean, I'm decently trained in it, so I can do it. It's not too bad.
How many times have you been seriously shocked?
Only one time, and that was because I was at a job, and I double checked with my foreman to make sure that the power was off. He went and asked the electrician and said yes. So I had a sawzall that was because we were demoing a school. I was sawzawing through a conduit, and it was live, and it threw me back 15 feet and just completely destroyed my sawzall.
Did it do any damage to you?
Well, I mean, I was hurting. I flew like 15 feet, but no, yeah. Luckily, it could have been a lot worse. But yeah, no. And then yeah, my foreman came back. He's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, you gave me the okay 3 times." He's like, "Oh yeah, I forgot." I'm like, "Yeah, yeah." So yeah, that we had a fun safety meeting the next day because of that.
Pete, do you have a trade you hate?
My wife and I like to do projects, but you have to know your limitations. I'll do electrical work inside the house, but once it's past the like circuit breaker, like I won't mess with the circuit breaker or anything else. I'll hire an electrician to do that because that's where you start to get into stuff where people get really seriously hurt. Plumbing, I've done it in the past. I hate it. I agree completely with Peter. that like one mistake and your whole project is a disaster. But I've had to do some emergency plumbing, like when my pipes froze one time, and it was miserable. And I would rather just have somebody else that does it for a living do it. But other stuff that we do a ton of yard work. And depending on how ambitious that project is, that could be like we had these old yew bushes like that were like from the 1970s, and we removed them all. Oh, soul crushing to dig those things out. Just ridiculously terrible. So that one. But by and large, the thing I would hate the most, which I'm not allowed to do, painting. I hate painting. Like honestly.
There you go.
Like
That's
many years ago, I just did such a terrible job that my wife will never let me touch a paintbrush again. So I got out of it. I just hate doing it.
Every few years, I forget how much I hate it, and I'm like, "Oh, this won't take so long; it won't be so bad." And then I start it, and I'm like,
No.
"I hate this so much, and I'm never doing it again."
Yeah.
And then that'll repeat in a few years again.
No, I hate it. I mean, I'll do flooring, I'll do all kinds of stuff, but the painting is just so tedious to me. I just hate it.
Lastly, got a modern build I'm curious what you guys think of. For the record, this is for an event where the top 10 meta from Adepticon are banned along with Juice. All right, let's see if Peter's link works, and it does. Look at that. All right, so with the top banned from Adepticon...
I feel like Clay somehow something to do with the fact that Peter's links are working. So we're just going to say thanks, Clay.
He's got the Juggernaut from Collector's Trove with the Crimson Gem, Swamp Thing, the Prime Swamp Thing with Avatar of Khonshu, King Jefferson with the Universal Weapon, King Deadpool and Elsa with the Bloodstone and the Trick Arrows. Sorry, King Deadpool and Elsa Bloodstone with the Trick Arrows, and then a 10-point Weasel Pog. Sideline is Pin Particles, Rivalry, Ares, Cathan, Khonshu, Mimic, and then no Traffic Barrel, it looks like.
There's no need for King Jefferson. With no juice, bring on Necron. Get some use out of Swamp Thing.
Yeah.
Like
There's no outwit on this team at all. No outwit or perplex. So what are we getting rid of? You get rid of Jefferson. You're bringing on Necron?
Yeah, you get Jefferson for
And then you
Necron.
and then you have an outwit right there because you can just give him Tower Rep for free.
So then you got what, 30 more points then?
No, he's 60, right? So
You have
he has
20 points.
Yeah, you have no.
Oh, yeah, I guess
you have-
30.
you have-
Yeah, 30
you have
points.
30, yeah.
So but do you still have a TK then?
That's probably what the Universal Weapon was for, but I agree that King Jefferson doesn't belong on this team.
It's like it's all offense.
No, yeah.
But like, so my other thing is, was Weasel there for Jefferson to like buff his range if he's making an attack? Because like you only have the two range attackers in Jefferson and King Deadpool and Elsa. So it's cool they get prob, but Deadpool Elsa's already giving out prob with pizza, so it feels a little redundant, I guess. Is my thought, because you're not really having another range attacker like Juggernaut, Swamp Thing. They're not range attackers. They're gonna go up and punch something.
And yeah, Weasel still
No,
gives
yeah,
the
that's why-
+1 attack to adjacents, but there's no way to carry him up with Swamp Thing or... I guess he's a giant, but are you really carrying Weasel up with him? Because usually he teleports
Yeah.
too, right? So
Yeah, he does. He poofs, yeah. So, and then what is it? Deadpool and Elsa can't carry them either. So
yeah, and I love King Deadpool and Elsa. They're just a little too slow. So this definitely needs some way to get people out there faster. A Timebreaker
King Jefferson
Pog.
just doesn't feel right.
Timebreaker probably didn't make the
Yeah.
top. The Timebreaker, like the 5.1 probably is on that list, but can you play that Timebreaker Pog? Because that's a good way to get out there faster. Otherwise, you're definitely going to need to find a piece with Universal Weapon. But yeah, it's just, I think, leaning too much into offense.
And you can leave Weasel on there if you get Necron, because now Necron's going to be
8 range.
11 for 8 range. Yeah,
Yeah.
so now you can use them. And if you really want to, you're going to have that's going to be 30 points. The Kree Soldier with the Universal Weapon, and you're still going to have 5 points left for the barrel.
And Towerette could go on Necron. Did you guys say that?
Yeah, he gets
Yeah.
outwit.
Well,
And
he's mystical theme though. So I mean, you can do that stuff.
That's right. Yeah,
I mean,
you
you-
just go unseen.
So without Necron or some way of healing Swamp Thing Prime, is that like, are you
Well, no,
in love with that?
Necron's going to be able to. Necron's just a great attacker, especially with no juice. You can make your grave markers
Okay.
because you can just
Yeah, I
place
mean,
center somebody. Yeah, with Juggernaut and everything. Yeah, that's why I'm going Necron with no juice. Because Necron is so, like lost so much playability with use of heating the thing.
And Necron's just good for 40 points. Like he's amazing as he is.
Yeah, King Jefferson's good. I don't just think he goes on this team though, so switch that out. We good with that?
Yeah. I mean, I don't dislike the team. I get what Peter's doing. Peter clearly likes some defensive number. Like he always has some version of a 19 defense somewhere on his team. So that's something he's very comfortable in playing.
Well, as Pete knows,
So he finds some utility in it.
19s get hit pretty easy.
Dude, 19s are not what they used to be. Like 20s are like you're starting to feel okay at a 20. Like at 18, you're like, well, that's getting hit. 17, you're like, that's definitely getting hit, probably twice. Yeah. Yeah, 19s are not what they used to be.
All right, moving to Konstantin Savitsky. What you want? Would you want Lantern Legacy boosters to be 4 figures and 1 equipment or construct? I think that's a hard question because the value in those BTU boosters was much greater with a construct instead of like a common. But at the same time, it kind of felt cheap and disappointing to have that tiny little translucent object count instead of a figure. But I'd love to get the 5 figures in a Lantern Legacy, but at the same time, if we got brand new sets of constructs, I'd be excited to collect those and play those too.
Well, Collector's Trove, we had the same problem where the equipment took a figure spot. So I'm sure that's exactly how it's going to be.
Well, that I'm not a fan of at all when in Collector's Trove because that when they have certain equipment that comes with a character and that just takes the place of a character, yeah, that's not good. What I don't think are we getting constructs though in Lantern Legacy?
Yes. They said they were getting constructs.
Because I thought those pictures that we saw, I guess they're not necessarily for sure coming in boosters of 5, but didn't we see a bunch of pictures of like 5 in a row? Maybe that was just for advertising.
Yeah, that had to have been. Yeah, from what I heard is that we're getting rings and constructs in the boosters. I don't know if they're random or in every one. I'm pretty sure I remember hearing something about that, or reading one of the posts about it.
Okay. Because I thought I knew we saw in the Chase OP boosters, I think we saw that they were going to be rings, but they're going to be in the regular boosters as well.
Oh, God. There better be the rings in the regular boosters. There better not be back to this equipment stuff. That's just ridiculous.
I just know that the Chase boosters said that they were going to be in there, but I don't know if they're going to be in the regular boosters.
Dude, can you imagine the cost of a Green Lantern ring that's in a Chase booster?
Well, you can use the Batman team up ones. They said too, right? They said keep them.
Yeah.
So
yeah, but listen, we need this. I need more information because this could be terrible.
I don't think we're gonna get much
The
more
only
information.
way you can get
though.
your Black Lantern ring is from your Chase boosters. Friggin' $400 Black Lantern rings. Gosh.
Oh, I don't think we're gonna get more information though until after Smash and Destroy because we don't even know. Well, I guess we saw pictures of every piece in the set, right, on their Facebook page.
Not every.
Not everything.
No, it wasn't every.
Oh, okay. I thought they
So let me
showed
be
2
clear.
cycles of them.
No, it was just
Let me answer the question. Let me be clear. So I don't have a problem with the 4 figures in 1 equipment construct thing. It doesn't bother me. I really liked opening the Batman team up ones to see different constructs I gotten. I do prefer the approach of the one shots though, where I get 5 figures. Then I'm like, oh cool, I got a one shot in addition to my 5 figures. But if the Chase booster has an exclusive ring, that's a problem. If it doesn't and they're in the set, then whatever, all good.
I think.
because I really thought that Chase boosters were supposed to be like an attaché to the main set, not like it's its own thing, basically.
I guess so. I don't mind if it's constructs. I mind if it's equipment, because even when you open those for sealed, you can't even really use those rings if you don't have the construct.
I would not want to use. I would not want the constructs to be in there either, because it's going to be the same.
Yeah, they're going to be reprinting stop signs.
What's that?
And you can only get from the chase boosters.
Yeah.
So just think about it. They reprint stop signs, and you can only get them from the chase boosters.
Well, get ready for $300 chase boosters. All right.
Yeah, because the barrel's rotating, so you're going to need them.
Oh, I'm so sad about that.
Yeah, as much as I hate to admit it, the barrel going away is going to make a problem for a lot of things. And I hate that thing.
Is the rare Spot 042 from SVAC a good enough teammate for the Spot 040 in silver?
This is the first thing Miles is getting banned in silver next year is this team right here.
Dude, even before...
the moment I saw Spot, I got it, yeah. He was still good.
Yeah, Christine played him a lot when we first were playing the SVAC battles all the time. And yeah, he was really good back then. And now there's just so many good equipment options that you can give him too. So now that he works with the new Spot if they're on the same team, that seems incredibly mean. Miles, have you actually built a team with this yet? Or are you just, it's on your list of things to make?
I built a team when this Spot was first shown. I did a Sinister Syndicate scientist swap with the Green Goblin.
Okay.
That way I could get Sandman on the build and stuff. Because Scientist has just such great support. So and there's enough Sinister Syndicate with Scientist too from Silver, so that way you can bring figures in like Sandman.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't got to the testing phase, but yeah, the team is built.
Yeah, just those two pieces can make so many attacks. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
So that's definitely a team, and that's only, what, 70, like 110 points? If you put the health cycle on the new Spot? What does that break down to? Spot's 55, right?
Yeah.
Spot's 55 and 50, so they're 105 or 120 for both.
Okay, and then you're probably
Or
throwing something
130
on the old Spot. So like 130?
Yeah.
For how many
Yeah.
attacks will they make? Like 10?
8 potentially.
Yeah, so that seems pretty good.
The SVAC Spot isn't unique, so you can just use one of them to just be like your decoy and have him be the one that moves your spot marker.
Who do you think will get a temporary ban in Silver Age after rotation? I'm guessing he means bench. I would have said Kong a few months ago, but now, do they bench modern pieces? I don't think they do, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they bench some modern stuff. I think if you're talking about stuff that's rotating, I would think.
Oh yeah, like
Off
Cathan
the top of
was,
my head.
right?
Yeah, Cathan
Yeah.
he was
No,
benched.
Kazan's banned. I think Kazan's banned.
Oh, was he just banned? Okay, I couldn't remember if he was banned or banned.
Oh yeah, he might have actually gotten the ban because he triggers too many things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what do you guys see getting benched? Because I just don't see the same
Dude,
problems.
Prime Colossus is gone.
Oh yeah, that's a
Prime
good
Colossus
one.
is
Prime Colossus.
100% gone.
That's the number
think
one.
You're not seeing that piece for a year.
I think
at least.
him and Kevin are probably getting
Yeah.
the crispy ban for a year.
Yeah, the uptick that Kevin's seeing right now, I think that'll earn him the bench after rotation.
Bench, I'm sorry. Yes, not ban, bench. You could potentially see Ghost Rider, King of Hell.
Yeah, him too.
I'm just trying to think of the stuff that, like, what got benched last one. It was the Masters of Evil and like Prime Spidey.
Spidey.
Those were like the big ones, and I don't see the same things getting played right now. As far as like the things that are also rotating, because like Predegaton's still going to be legal. We just said that Deadpool Weapon X is probably out, so yeah, Colossus getting the bench, that makes a ton of sense.
Yeah, it's just because of what he did last Silver States.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that mind control is just stupid.
But is there any other pieces that really need to see that bench list right away? That of stuff that's
Kong.
like rotating? I don't know if Kong's
does.
gonna. You think Kong's gonna rotate? Because he came out in
No.
like January or
gonna rotate.
February, right?
But I think he needs a bench list because Kong and Silver, because the higher points is more of a thing. And there's still other pieces outside of Blackheart where you can Kong across maps. So I just think it's something that people should. Well, I don't know. I'm less of that. I know Colossus for sure. Like that, he's gone. There's no way.
Yeah, I think he's number 1, and Kevin is very fast earning his number 2 slot. But I don't think like
Probably Death Metal too. She'll probably hit the bench.
Oh man,
too.
yeah, that's a good point. I would love to see her get benched for a year. I'm so tired of that piece.
I love her. Be like, well, sad. I'll put you back in the box for a year. It's fine.
But like, do you see
No,
anything?
I heard that she's going to be the first modern forever figure.
We don't need that.
It's pretty much like that now.
It feels like that, dude. She's been around since I think like 2021. Is it
2020?
Is it 2020?
Yeah.
I
I
think the
want to
last,
say 20. I guess no, 2021.
Yeah, I think it's 2021. But yeah, it's just crazy.
I think the last thing
It's,
is probably the time breakers and the pog that generate them. I think that's probably the only other thing I can think of that would probably see the bench.
Next phase is not rotating, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's going to be gone.
Is
Yep.
it?
You can assume.
All right, so we've had the ban list, the bench list. Now we're gonna have the Miles list. The things that Miles is gonna get banned in Silver, and his boy Donnie Blaze is definitely on there.
He's already gone.
no
He's
way.
banned.
He's already
banned.
gone.
So we're the Miles list is on to a good start then. What else are you getting banned in Silver, Miles?
Spot. Spot will see the bench.
The thing with Miles is he's right up front about it. He just tells people it's a problem.
Going down the list here, though, like Notorious, I don't see anything in Notorious that's getting overplayed that needs a break from Silver.
No, because Necron got fixed when he got restricted, so you could only play one, so that was fine.
Yep.
Everything else, yeah. Like I said, the last thing that I see is the time breakers and the pog that generates them. That's what I see hitting the bench off of there.
Well, with Kamo coming on at the end here, is he gonna be a consideration?
He might. He totally
Yeah.
might hit the bench too. Yeah.
What about
You know what's never getting benched? Black Lantern.
One shot.
Superman.
The next bench ban list where they have to deal with one shots. Canon event in Silver.
Is bad
Rough.
news.
Yeah. What about the Legacy Daredevil? I could see that maybe getting benched.
Yeah.
Oh dear God, please.
He might. He just might. He's still number 6 in popularity as far as the Adepticon was. So.
Hey, but I don't know if. Do you think Ghost Rider sees a huge uptick when he counts towards your silver points?
I don't know, because it's more of like what he enables could be a problem. So that might be a thing where he's just like, all right, we just bench him for a year and see what happens. So
I don't know. It's weird because he doesn't even see the amount of play that he deserves to see.
Right.
I know, it's weird.
But does that totally that might be what flips it though, is when he starts counting towards 200 points of your silver age, and then how much more he might mess with in silver. But that might be like a too late thing because he didn't make the list before the actual announcement was made.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you know who's gonna definitely hit it is Baron Zemo, the chase from next phase.
Not yet. I'm breaking him though.
There's no way that you break that terrible piece.
No.
It
probably
sounds
not.
like we're gonna have bets starting here tonight. I was wondering they were coming back.
I think Elsa's already on the
The
watch
Prime one,
list,
that's
right?
actually what I was just looking at. The Prime one.
She might just disappear because she's Mad Jim Light and there's a reason
with
she's been
Trigon
banned.
and Full Sword.
Exactly, yeah. Just a lot of the shenanigans she allows with her just being like, here, you can have an equipment, is not great. So
Yeah, that's probably another one that makes the list. What about just the trick arrows from next phase? Man, I would love those if they hit the bench list.
Oh, that'd be so happy.
you know, this is a long
Not
shot.
all of them, just some. Just say sorry. You can't use too dangerous. You got to use putty.
Why putty? I guess.
Yeah, that would be cool. Actually, if they just
Make
got
your-
rid of what is it like Too Dangerous, Big, and what's the other stupid one?
What you don't like the US or the electrical? Is it the electrical
Yeah,
you don't like?
all the ones that are like, oh, I hit you, now let me damage everyone else around you, or let me do extra damage, and all that stuff can get out of here.
Let me.
I
Hit
think
harder.
I think that Aaron should really consider making you have to build with putty. Like, no, it has to be on your build in silver.
Yep. If you play trick arrows, it's required to play putty.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, I'm fine with that then.
Deadpool, Weapon X. The time breakers are interesting because it's just like a little 5-point support, but they are kind of all over the place.
From
Well,
no,
he also adds a bench list for pieces that are overplayed.
Yeah,
the autonomous is not a good thing. So
yeah, I guess I could
I
see
think-
that then because of
I
that.
think them and the Pog gotta go. So
Yeah, they're probably getting looked at.
And I don't. Do you think King Deadpool and Elsa see enough play to get the bench? No.
no.
You know who's not getting the bench? Lady Mastermind.
Or any piece named Deadpool.
Hey, well, at least King Deadpool was
Deadpool hit monkey. Deadpool hit monkey.
I don't think they will.
No.
They're not broken.
No.
If Deadpool and if Deadpool and King Deadpool and Elsa's not going, Deadpool and Hitmonkey's not going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, going to McConnell Lamar. Hey, gents, I hope you're all doing well. Are you all looking forward to Silver Age builds? What has caught your eye so far? So since I won't be able to make Rock Cup, I'm not building official silver at the moment. I'm definitely excited to see what people come up with. After rotation, I definitely want to build an Assassins team. I'm excited to have 400 points to work with, but I also want to revisit Arachnite and Madam Web and go Mystical or Spider-Man family.
Wow, that was the longest groan I think I've heard out of you, Pete, in a while.
Oh, it's been such a nice year without Madam Web.
Why? You have rivalry
nice.
now. You can just hit her and kill her, and then she's gone.
We still build decently silverish age though with our monthly games, so it's nothing that's like official, but it's still that's what we build for.
I have my Clix League West the same weekend as Rock Cup, so it's hard for me to get into the silver mindset with a modern event coming up. Though I do have the Soldier monthly and Animal monthly because we have 2 games going this weekend. That's gonna be fun.
Oh, that's this weekend that you guys are doing that?
Yeah, the 12th.
Oh, nice. We'll have to go over that stuff next week then. Dan, are you building anything silver right now? Because you're judging most of the event at Rock Cup, right?
I'm judging all of the events at Rock Cup. Or at least
Take that.
He's letting other people win.
No, that was just a lead-in. I 100% know that Dan is just judging, but I wanted him to pick up his answer to the question. So it was just, hey, Dan, what are you doing for Silver Age?
Probably the Shark, honestly. So I like him a lot. I'm not sure what I really want to try Monster with him, just because you can play so aggro with that. But because again, King Deadpool and Elsa are also rotating, and they work so well with him for that. Because giving pizza to the little shark bystander is hilarious.
Pete, do you have any Silver Age builds you're working on?
Oh man, I have so many Silver Age builds. Most of my bad ideas are in silver. But Latveria, I love it. This new legacy molecule, man. Whew, that, my friends, is a thing. And especially on Latveria and silver. Oh yeah, very excited.
I think not having a Silver Age states before Rock Cup like they were supposed to do kind of hurts the hype for the event. That would have been kind of nice to have that lead in, I think.
It would have been a nice bonus, but I don't know. We just didn't have the time, or they would have had to where do you fit it in, right? We just had Adepticon 2 weeks ago, not even 2 weeks ago. I don't know where you fit that in. Otherwise, we would have started and then you had Champion Clicks earlier in March, and then you had the Ices. We had ours in January, and they were stretching out all the way through February. I don't know where you fit it in. do you
Like right now, like in April, it would have been perfect to
Like,
lead into.
I mean, yeah,
It could have
that's
been
fair.
the entire month of April, I think.
into like first
May.
week of May. I think the
Yeah,
second week of May is the like H for H. So
yeah, I think that would have been totally fine.
yeah, I'm just that's definitely a jam-packed schedule then, like as far as events and things are going. So
I think it would have been. It would have been better to do it than not do it, even if like there were 20 people turnouts or whatever. I think it still would have been
yeah,
worth running it just to get back into like just having silver be out there and people building for it. Just jumping
yeah.
into, because I really wanted to see. I know that Silver Age is hopefully going to be like a year-round thing, but I still kind of like the. I was really excited to kind of like switch gears after Adepticon and start building silver and do have like estates and then do Rock Cup and all that. But this really just feels like we're going to be doing Silver Age for what is it? Just is the 3v3? Is that silver? I don't even know if it's silver. Is that modern?
Let me double check. Hold on, I'm not 100%.
Because it might
Yeah, it
just
was
be
modern last year.
Yeah, I think it's just modern. So it's realistically there's one big Silver Age event, which is the Silver Age Worlds at Rock Up, and then when's the next time we're having anything silver? Are they going to stick to post Worlds?
The H for H 3v3 is 400 modern.
Yeah, so there's not even really like a big silver event happening. And it doesn't make sense to throw in Silver Age states before Worlds.
Yeah.
So I just think it was a missed opportunity. They could have thrown it, planned it, and thrown it maybe in April, and then had a little bit more hype behind it.
No, I agree, but I don't. Yeah, that's a tough one. So.
All right, going to Illuminati. We have a big Silver Age event at Highlander Games this weekend. What do you think we will see played, and what will the big surprise play be? I think Ultra Chase Collector is probably the top of the list, right? The equipment potential is just too crazy, and he's doing well.
Yeah, but I think people are going to counter build that too now because they know he's good. So they're going to be like, well, all right, how do we beat it?
But are people going to be ready to counter build that before it gets too much play in silver?
I mean, maybe we might because of the whole dark side shenanigans. Like people might be prepping ahead of time this time instead of just being like, "Oh, it's dark side. How do we do this 2 weeks later?" Instead of from the get go.
Yeah, he's probably on a decent amount of radars. Miles, what do you think the big play will be?
Well, the big play is probably gonna be Collector, but the big surprise play I think is gonna be Guardians of the Galaxy. You got Legacy Cosmo, Better Ray Bill, like that. The entire Guardians of the Galaxy completely, like, now. Not only is like Collector dealt with, but now Darkseid can't use willpower.
Is Prime Gamora like even better now because she can just be like, "Hi, Darkseid." Don't care.
I mean, potentially, yeah, she is potentially, but you don't even need her, like, for Guardians to be good. Better Ray Bill and Cosmo, that's it.
Her with all of the
getting rid
one
of
shots,
willpower
I think is actually some potential there, because you can potentially save her from just getting destroyed once you use her.
Yeah.
My big surprise play was a Spider-Man family team, maybe with Spider-Cat, bring animals in.
Oh yeah. I mean, we're also gonna see Spot too, but yeah, that's a bit. I totally forgot about Spider-Cat. Holy crap! Yeah.
Dan, what do you think the surprise play would be?
Hard because it's like, I feel like Latveria is still like sneaky, like it's under the radar, even though it's like very popular. But it's one of those where it's so versatile and none of the builds are the same. So I think that's going to be the one that's probably going to catch, or it might come up and win an event. You're like, oh, that's new.
Yeah, that's one that kind of just is always viable. Pete, what about you? What do you think is going to be the big play, and what do you think is going to be the surprise play?
The big play will be Collector. There's just so much you can do in silver with him. Because you're just opening up so many more equipment options for him, too.
Mm-hmm.
I think the surprise play, I like the Spider-Man family answer, but I think Wakanda.
I like
Wakanda
that
has a lot of options in silver, and if you start to go back at sets and look at things, there's not what I would say super low point cost, but you can start getting some attack and defense and speed numbers up just natively for the whole team with Wakanda.
Yeah, that's AEW
So
or
you-
AEW, ADW, right? That has a bunch of those pieces that really boost Wakanda.
Yeah,
Well, there's
you
that.
can get some ridiculous numbers you're having to hit pretty consistently, and it gets to be oppressive.
Well, there was
So-
that. There was ABPI, and there was a couple of LEs. Like the LE Shuri is still like really good. She's a bit expensive, but she's really solid.
Yeah, like if you are constantly having to hit much higher numbers than are what are printed, and then you have Prime Panther, who's just not letting you kill things board wide, you're in for a little bit of a day.
Yeah.
So
I'd like to see a Wakanda team do well. I think you might run out of modern points though, especially if you play the Prime Panther. Black Leopard might be the play.
I don't know. I like the longevity of Prime Panther versus the stat stick that he turns things at like where you're like, hey, you're an 11 for 7 or 11-17 is rough, but I don't know. I think the longevity that the new one offers is really solid.
Does Hidari make that team?
No.
Really?
I mean, honestly, with what I've been toying with, it's Prime Panther, Legacy Panther, and the Shuri with the team up that allows you to bring scientists in.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
because then you're at 180 modern points, but
Yeah, that's most of your
because the
team.
Universal Weapon makes it on there, and Tyrant makes it on somebody eventually, but then you're bringing in Saki and a bunch of other stuff. Like it's a pretty mean team.
I
Yeah,
wish
I
Zach
like
could
that.
sneak onto your team somehow there.
He usually does.
Listen, if you can play the Sack Man, you should play the Sack Man.
I'll just beat the sack man instead.
Especially when you're having to hit like 20s consistently.
And who's going to win, McConnell or me? I'd say McConnell because he just builds better teams.
Oh, man.
I like
That's hard.
McGonagall. You were about to say McGonagall. This is McGonagall Lamar. That's his new name. He's a Harry Potter character now.
You know who wins when McConnell plays Lou? We as a
McConnell.
community win.
McConnell.
I want this one live streamed. Let's make it happen.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Clash of the Titans. Clash of the Titans.
And then, or Dan, what about you? What are you?
McConnell comes out of left field with stuff, but I know Lou has like silver in his veins, so
McConnell's
That's
always
a tough
building for silver though, so
That's
McConnell's
true.
your vote, right?
oh man, that's like which horse do you bet on? I like both of them.
The one named McConnell.
You pick the one with 4 legs, not 3. That's the horse you bet on. You bet on McConnell.
Yeah, I thought
He's
you were
the
gonna
horse
do
with
that. I
4
thought
legs.
you were gonna do the fifth leg joke, and then I'm like, oh, thank God.
We can still do that joke, Dan.
Okay.
Speaking of the 5th leg, the next question.
Yeah. So question number 2, also Ryan's or base, which are better balls? Lou and his old balls are still just super fixated on mine.
Loose skin and old balls. Gross.
This is fantastic.
I'm gonna go with Ryan. I don't like baseball. I think it's the worst of the sports in the North America.
I agree.
Oh, that hurts me.
Baseball's a little boring.
That's why it's 4,
would have
because
to-
the other 3 sports are way more exciting.
Yeah. I would have to say that baseballs are better than Ryan's balls.
I disagree with you.
But hear me out. We can put both of them on tees and hit them with a bat anytime we want. Right? Huh?
I don't know.
Yeah, one on a golf tee, right?
All right,
I
going.
still think the baseballs would bounce more than his will, but you know.
I think that's enough about that. Let's go to Morg Bird. I need to come in with a statement from the last podcast. John Cena's album is far superior to Randy Savage's album. Do you hear that, Miles? Miles?
Oh yeah, no, I got a rebuttal.
All right.
Wait, go ahead.
All right, I'll
Just
keep
finish,
going then.
and I'm gonna let you know.
Randy's
When did we start listening to Australians? That's my first question.
Yeah.
Randy's album
Yeah.
barely saw the light of day with 15K sales. Cena's not only made 385K sales, but also took 10th on the U.S. R&B hip-hop Billboard charts. Cena's album is actually highly listenable and showcases actual musical talent as opposed to the one-dimensional grunt of a man that is best showing you 3 minutes of playtime than 3 minutes of his music. Now the air is clear and fresh.
All right, so now here's the rebuttal, and this is exactly why Mork Bird is completely wrong. So you have one person, John Cena, album was pushed beyond belief by Vince McMahon, that was his golden boy. And then you had Randy Savage, who was pretty much going from underground. And I have some reviews for him to listen to. Okay, the student newspaper, The Good 5-Cent Cigar from the University of Rhode Island, wrote that Be a Man would change not only the entire music industry, but your life as you know it. Every song on the album is better than any other song you've ever heard in your life. Okay, that's Ernest Jasmine of the News Tribune said Savage is the epitome of a Renaissance man, and that his rapping is way better than Shaquille O'Neal's. And then Tom Mallon of CMJ New Music Monthly said Savage's flow is surprisingly tight for a middle-aged muscle-bound beef jerky salesman with an audible constipation problem. Okay? Like, you don't hear nothing about that with John Cena. I'm sorry, be a man. Be a man, Mork. Don't be a chump. All right?
All right, Miles, here's the AI overview. It's difficult to definitively say that John Cena's album You Can't See Me or Macho Man's album Be a Man was better. Both were commercially successful and culturally impactful within the wrestling world. However, You Can't See Me achieved platinum status and is considered a more commercially successful album than Be a Man. In conclusion, while both albums were significant for the wrestlers involved, John Cena's You Can't See Me achieved higher commercial success and broader recognition within the wrestling world.
It was broadcast all over WB TV. That's why it sold. Okay? That's what it was.
Because it was better.
I'm sorry.
No.
No, being better. No, it's not better. Okay, not once.
AI just told you it was better.
No, Savage's flow is surprisingly tight for a middle-aged, muscle-bound beef jerky salesman with an audible constipation problem. You don't hear nothing like that about Cena.
AI just searched the entire internet and came up with that.
That's the quote.
Yeah, Tom Mellon.
That last one, that's the one that made me had to mute myself for a good 35 seconds because I died. John Cena will never get a better endorsement than that. Okay, read it one more time, please, Miles.
Yeah.
Savage's flow is surprisingly tight for a middle-aged, muscle-bound beef jerky salesman, and we all know how much we love beef jerky here, with an audible constipation problem.
Okay. I'm still going to say John Cena tops that.
God. That should have been printed on a billboard and t-shirts covering Savage's album. And then it would have sold 385,001, making it the clearly superior album. Thank you.
Yep.
Well, at least we know that Mork is correct on this one, because he has a bad take later on here. All right, next one is...
All of his takes are bad.
This year has really felt like a solid run of desirable sets and fun mechanics and synergies. One thing I have noticed is that the deficiency in range within sets is made up for with legacy printings, allowing us 10 range figures on 16x16 maps. If you could bring back any 10 range figure through a legacy card, who would you bring back and how would you make them more modern viable? The 10 range was a little before my time. I would actually like to see the Wonder Woman 80 Faust back with the 8 range and just keep them the same.
No.
No, we're going to go ahead and just, we're just going to kill clicks. We're going to go ahead and do Icon Superman Veteran. He's going to have 10 range. If he's outdoors, he heals at the end of his turn and at the beginning of his turn. And when he uses hypersonic speed, he does not half his range. That's how you do it.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah, but he can't hide. Yeah, but he can't hide on a 16x16 map. That's like the thing. So you're getting there. Like I think that's the one nice thing about the reduced map.
Drop hard.
Yeah, he does. Drops like a rock. He gets like 3 clicks down, and he's not nearly as scary.
Oh
No,
God,
the one
please
figure I really
amazing.
wanted for Lantern Legacy is the Tomar Ray with 12 range.
Obviously, you can sort by range, which is what I'm doing right now to answer this question.
Dan, do you have an answer before Pete finds his?
Yeah, that's an easy answer. Ultimate's Thor.
How would you make him
And
viable?
he also drops like a rock. I definitely had to give him some form of like outwit protection. Probably reduces pen damage because he was like a 17 defense top dial. So
Oh, worse than that. He was a 16.
16. Yeah, he was pretty bad. It was just like he's always like a 12-5 or something like that, right? But he was just bad.
Yeah,
otherwise.
10, 12, 16, 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Dude,
It'd be a multiple things probably that he would need to be like actually viable, and not like Thanos obviously, but just like he would need a lot of extra like gimmicks to be able to be better. So
You just give him Asgard tokens, and he gets +1 to all of his. You just increase his combat values by +1 for each token. So that way you go above 3. Use increase instead of modify.
interesting. I don't know. Maybe some. I'm not sure. Like I'd want to like have to actually look at something like that because I'd want to make him neat, not just like, hey, he's really powerful.
Pete, did you find your answer on HC units?
Dude, there's some bangers in here. Just starting at 10. I've just been counting up. So just 10 of stuff that I really like to play that was super fun was, Legacy Green Lantern, obviously. But that was already a Legacy, so we had to go back a little farther. Dark Phoenix from XDPS.
That's got to be your answer.
Oh, that's a good one. The Green Booger from Space, Unimind, 10 range. Mistress Death, 10 range. Lord Chaos and Master Order, so the balls were also 10 range.
Oh, what
and
about
then Marquis of Death?
What about
Those are all good.
He's got like a 13 range. Is it Sentry Void?
Yeah, I think they have a 13.
Ooh, I didn't get up that high. Another favorite that was a Pog, Franklin Galactus, that pops out. That was a great piece.
I hate that piece.
Oh man, so good.
From Dr. Fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. I obliterated one of Redmond's pieces one time with it.
Well, yeah, when you get 6 damage pulse wave, yeah, no kidding. Shocker, Pete.
I had 6 damage pulse wave him.
Oh, you didn't actually.
Dan.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm not just a one-trick pony, Dan.
No, I picked up Lady Phoenix, and he had like
I had
3
3
enhancements. Yeah, so he shot me for like 9 damage across the map. It was stupid.
She got obliterated, awesome. Is what I just heard. Yeah, that's why I don't play her. She's a really
didn't
pretty.
Kill her actually.
Yeah, but she was basically useless. She's like on her last 2 clicks where it's like what phasing and regen or something.
Yeah, my answer would be Dark Phoenix. So.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, going to number 2, unpopular opinion, very unpopular. I think Keaton shakes up a heavy reliance on free and makes people think about building in preparation for the high likelihood of facing him, so I am pro Keaton. That being said, if there were one free that you could choose to be unaffected by Keaton, what would you like to still have access to? The game is built around free actions, so it just makes pieces and teams unplayable.
You play way too much casual. That's yeah. Mm-hmm. That is right there.
But it would have to be. It'd have to be perplex your support so that you could at least have a chance of perplexing your attack to get to him, or outwitting the mastermind on him.
No, it's definitely not that either. It is you can still charge a running shot and blow up walls at the very least.
Yeah.
Oh, he's such a terrible piece.
Yeah, but those aren't free actions, Dan. That's just like an action, right?
Yes, it is.
They're free after you charge a running shot.
No. I understand he affects it, but that's not what he's talking about with free. The question's more like powers, right?
No, it's anything.
No, he said that if there were one free that you could choose to be unaffected, it would be close as free or range as free.
Technically, it could be Jeff's eat a pizza and heal. Or I guess that's Deadpool and Elsa.
That's oddly specific.
Well, that's my example of a free.
I guess my thinking is because then Pulse Wave is still the great equalizer to him, as it usually should be. Is like, hey, I can still running shot and Pulse Wave you and shut you off for, this one go round, as well as like I can break a wall because him with barrier and the barrel or the stop signs is pretty damn oppressive. It's just like, cool, I can't break it without having to move up or maybe TK and maybe shoot at it. So.
Yeah, allowing the move-in attack or the move-in free is probably the answer. Miles, did you answer that?
Yeah, no, I said that he just plays it is a very unpopular opinion. He plays way too much casual for that to think it's fine. It completely destroys a lot of pieces. Now I know that you can still build around it, but it still stops a lot of figures from being playable without certain figures. Like Space Ghost is completely trash. I mean, if you had to pick free, it has to be closer range is free.
Well, maybe they haven't gotten Space Coast in Australia yet.
Yeah, probably that's true.
Pete, what did you come up with after discussing what a free action was?
No, I just misunderstood the question. I understand what a free action is. I just thought he was asking like specific powers that you use, but I think I agree with that. I think you have to be able to, like, do running shot and then whatever, or do charge and then whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So that would include then the ability to shoot things also. So I think that's probably the right play.
You can charge flurry, running shot, pulse wave. That'd be fun.
I think that's probably the correct answer. I love Mark writing in and stuff. And this is his second bad take of the night, though. I still think the Randy Macho Man Savage John Cena one was worse, but Mark, got a lot going on down there, buddy. You need to
Just
work
saying,
this
like,
out.
calm
Here.
down.
No, this is his only bad take of the night. Just this one. All right, number 3, obligatory wrestling question. JYD was my first favorite wrestler as a kid before the Ultimate Warrior came running to the ring with more energy than a toddler in a candy store unattended. Who were each of your first favorite wrestlers, and how much do they relate to, if at all, your current favorite active wrestler? For me, it was Chris Jericho. I just like the underdogs that are good on the mic, and I haven't been able to watch a lot of wrestling lately over the last probably 2 years. So all my favorite guys now have at least been there for 5 years at this point, and it's still WWE stuff is what I usually gravitate towards. So I am a huge fan right now of CM Punk coming back just because of where he was at when he left. But I don't know how that even relates. It's just, I guess, just mic work, right? And the underdog.
Yeah, it's so tough because wrestling was so different. But yeah, I guess so. This is gonna age me a lot. I'm not sure if any of you are familiar with. Pete probably is. But my uncle had a ton of the Apter magazines. I don't know if you're familiar with those. And so that was pretty much my first foray. So Bill Apter used to be a photographer, and then he made tons of magazines. So all the old wrestling magazines, there's Wrestling Review, all of those, The Wrestler, all that, he did. And so I got all of them. And it was hard for me to figure out who my first favorite wrestler was, but my dad was able to find a few months ago. I think I actually shared it in the chat, actually. I think it was last year. I was in kindergarten and I did a paper on Harley Race. And I thought those books were coming out during that time. So I was writing it, and it was when he was winning his 4th world championship, which I believe was 1975. Yeah, I mean, Harley Race has to be my first favorite wrestler, which is crazy to say. And then modern, it's tough because it's between Sami Zayn and Shinsuke Nakamura, and there is nothing similar at all. And I know I feel super old for saying Harley Race, especially because he's old.
He is. Now, Dan, is the extreme wrestling fan that you are, who is your first favorite wrestler?
First favorite, honestly, it's probably Cena, just because to be fair, I was introduced to him through his album, and then like that's how that like. I was
Randy
like,
Savage?
No, but good try, Miles.
Oh.
I'll give you credit for that. Probably him, and then I mean after that it was like I really like Rey Mysterio. Like he was one that was like, okay, this is cool. It's different. It was like something completely. At the time when he came out, it was like at least he was he the only luchador at the time, or he was the one that I know like off the top of my head that appeared during that era.
He was the big
I'm
one
sure
in
there were
WWE.
But yeah, he was the big one. So probably those two right off the bat. But
Pete.
Yeah, before we're off the subject of wrestling, I just want to say there's a reason why Macho Man is superior to John Cena. When Macho Man was a 6-time world champion, he only ever lost to 2 wrestlers.
What does
He
that
only
have to
lost to
do?
Ric Flair and Hulk Hogan.
What does that have to do with his wrestling album? John Cena didn't lose for like
I'm just
7
saying-
years.
Yeah, because he was booked that way.
Oh
Okay?
yes.
I'm talking about when wrestling was real. Okay, I'm talking about the mud shows of the IWA.
Uh huh.
Okay, not only was a better wrestler, he was a better rapper, and he's a better baseball player. He played for Cincinnati Reds.
The
Before
only
going
thing that
to
he
the
was
line.
better at was being a Superman or a Spider-Man villain.
Oh no, he's a way better wrestler.
The baseball thing is 100% true.
What?
Oh,
Yeah,
he was
baseball player.
drafted.
Yeah.
Yeah. Him and his brother both were.
Mhm.
Anyways, moving on to my question answer. My favorite wrestler as a kid by far was Hulk Hogan. I mean, it wasn't even close. I was a Hulkamaniac. And he doesn't relate to any wrestlers after that, really, that I've liked. Recently, I think probably my favorite wrestler of all time is probably Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson, depending on which name you like him for. But he just recently retired. I guess maybe he's going to come back in some part-time fashion. So they're not very relatable at all. They're two completely different approaches in the ring and mic and everything.
They're both retired.
So they are both retired. But yeah, that's my answer. Good question though, Mark.
Going to William Day Roker. Opinions on what should be on both the silver and modern watch list when they come out. Beetlejuice Rivalry, Perdegaton, and Canon Event.
Head tiebreaker.
Tiebreakers are fine.
Yeah,
leave them alone.
tiebreakers.
No,
Well,
leave them alone. Leave them alone.
Fine, yeah.
No, autonomous
Yeah.
is not good. I don't care what you say, and all your little like bug actions with them. Nah.
No, it's totally fine because if they address Keaton the way that they need to address Keaton to where autonomous is, it won't matter.
I still think autonomous is not good because like how many actions you can do for free to just stall out a turn because you have 8 bugs on the field is dumb.
Who's stalling because of
Don't know.
tiebreakers?
I'm gonna just say if the shoe fits.
You think I stall with tiebreakers?
No, I didn't say you. You assumed I was saying you.
Because you said if the shoe fits. That's literally what that means.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
I knew you'd take it that way, but I was in no way talking about you.
That does not add
He's
up.
just saying if it looks like a duck, it's not gonna be a duck. It's a duck.
I'm lost here. I think Dan just gaslighted you into the oblivion there, Redmond.
I guess so.
It was
I'm a
pretty
very
easy when
fast.
it comes to
I'm a
that.
very fast player.
I know, but it was too easy. It's like, man, all I got to do is just like line him up, and he's right there because he's gonna take that bait 10 out of 10 times.
All right, silver modern watch list. Go.
You hit the nail on the head right there. Silver is, we already dealt with silver pretty much. I don't know if they're gonna get a watch list, but for the modern watch list, I think that's perfectly fine right there. Man Thing, I'd like to see Man Thing on there.
Oh, that's a good addition.
Having 2 of them to do 8 plant markers, I think is a little bit too much.
Yeah, he
needs
needs
to be
once. Yeah, once. What is it?
Once for all characters with his trait.
Yeah. Dan, do you have any other ones to add besides the time breakers? Even though they're fine.
There was something else that I was thinking of. Hold on, just a second.
Yeah, Legacy Odin, because he makes it to where you can't play your figure the way you want to play it.
Yeah.
I mean, That's fine. I'm okay with it.
And the people who play him, they stall a lot when they're deciding on who to make Earthbound neutralized.
Man, you took that way too personally.
Pete, do you have anything you'd like to see on the Silver Modern watch list that we did not mention so far?
No, I'm just trying to think of anything you play that I really hate to see.
In Modern right now, I don't think there is anything. They had all rotated.
Not as much. Yeah. No, I think the one shots.
Ooh, Daredevil.
Yeah. Well, I just think the one shots are just so. I don't know.
The one shots are very powerful.
Yeah.
And
I think they should definitely be watched. I don't know that you remove them all. But in Silver, those things are highly exploitable. Like you may just somebody's gonna have a build that where basically you don't get to play. Because they're gonna go through your team with something.
Oh, I'd like to add the Ares sideline to that too, because there's a lot of other things that you can do in Silver to make a character giant or a giant character with blades and give them the Ares.
Yeah, Ares Canon event rivalry.
Oh yeah, that was my call. Was sorry, that's what I was thinking. Was Ares because I knew that piece would just be perpetuated on my sideline until.
Yeah, I think it's terrible in Modern, and it's even going to be worse in Silver.
And Pulp.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Pulp's pretty bad too.
I forgot about Pulp.
Yeah, me too.
As far as like anything else for the what is this? They're talking Modern and Silver at the same time.
Yeah. I don't think there's really any other ones to add to it though that are a problem piece. We've played in a lot of events. I don't really know what else is an issue.
I feel like maybe the Bloodstone. That's my only other like minor like maybe.
I would say that if more people were playing it, but the problem is that for some reason only like half the people are playing it.
Yeah, Dream Ruby changed to 25 points.
Dream Ruby at 25?
Yeah.
No. It's fine. All right, going to...
We already talked about everything else, like trick arrows, stuff like that. Like, I mean...
Yeah.
Oh, trick arrows, yeah.
The ones that we mentioned. Yeah, some of the stuff I guess we already mentioned. Trick arrows are terrible.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that do extra damage. I like the utility ones, like the nth metal, the putty, the USB arrow. Like that's the kind of stuff I think that they should have been. But the damage upon damage is just dumb. All right, second question. Legally required wrestling question. If you had to do one IRL, would it be a full match with your least favorite wrestler, chairs, slaps, etc., or competing in a rough and rowdy? I would love... My least favorite wrestler is that no chin guy that was in WWE for a little bit. James Ellsworth. Do you remember that guy?
The GOAT?
The GOAT? I would love to give that guy a chair shot and slap him around.
No, it's 100% rough and rowdy. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it.
Why don't you explain
rough
it?
And rowdy is 100% what I be. Rough and rowdy is pretty much a joke boxing league, fighting league, where people, untrained people, for instance, you get dwarves to fight each other. Right here, one of the best fights in rough and rowdy history is called Self-Proclaimed Superhero Hammers Acne-Covered Lumberjack. That was from Rough and Rowdy 7. Tiny Hero fights Monster Man to impress ring girls. Toothless Hillbilly fights young wrestling champ. So, that's... Boxer farts in the ring, makes everyone sick. Like, rough and rowdy, that's my kind of people.
That sounds terrible.
I want to fight. In fact, sign me up. I will box, and Hornswoggle was actually here. I will box 5 midgets at the same time.
How is that your kind of people?
Call me rough and rowdy.
I'm going to follow that up with a question. How is that not his kind of thing?
I was like, wait, did I just hear you saying you're going to box 5 midgets? Like, what?
Yeah.
I know you
Same
were
time.
I know you're just you, Miles, but like...
Oh,
This is
100%.
the second time I'm at to mute myself from laughing.
Yep.
Yeah, 100%. There's a local cage fighting thing, and I even asked him, like, hey, man, if you can get 2 midgets, I'll pay him $2,000 to box me.
Oh, my God.
It's a bucket list moment. Like, I want to fight, 5 dwarfs.
That's okay.
Dan, do you have an answer for this
Purely
one?
Do you
just
wanna-
self-indulgent.
Dan, do you want to answer this?
Sorry, we got so far off the rails. What was the question? Oh, the William Day Rooker one, right?
Yeah.
Oh my. Okay. Least favorite wrestler, chair slaps. I don't have a good answer for this, honestly.
So you'd rather do Rough and Rowdy, right? Just imagine you versus two dwarfs.
Yeah, just be Miles' tag team partner.
No, I'm cool.
You and me versus 10 dwarves.
I can't do that. I'm sorry, Miles. I just can't do it.
Turbo Miles and Truth Dan. The Outrunners.
Pete, do you got something for this one?
Oh my god.
This is a phenomenal question. I did have to look up what a rough and rowdy was, and Miles paints a very convincing argument for the rough and rowdy thing.
I would steer clear of the rough and rowdy.
But if I got to tee off and chair shot one of the wrestlers that I've hated,
Yeah.
I'm probably going for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh wait, do you just get to
Yeah.
do something to them? I thought you had to have actually a full match. That's why I'm trying to.
Yeah.
understand.
Well,
Well,
it's a
yeah,
full
most
match,
of
but
us
there's
would
gonna be a
win
chair.
against our least favorite wrestler. I don't know if you
Oh, I don't know if I guess I was thinking the first person that comes to mind of who I would want to whoop up on in a ring would probably be Vince McMahon, but he's
Vince
not, an
McMahon would
official wrestler.
destroy you.
I know it's not really a fair fight there. I'm sure I get my crap or my.
Let's see. I'm just imagining, Aqua Miles or Hollywood Miles just, in the octagon, duking it out with dwarves. And I just don't see how it gets better.
Miles was silent for 3 minutes, just daydreaming about how all these potential fights would play out.
I am. I'm messaging them.
Let Miles be great. Okay.
Next episode, welcome to our episode of D-Generation Clicks, proudly sponsored by Rough and Rowdy.
We do need a sponsor or two.
Someday.
If we get rough and rowdy, I'm fine with it.
And Muscle Milk.
And muscle milk. How about crow milk? Crow's
Yes.
milk.
Oh God, I've laughed so hard tonight. I've had to mute myself twice.
All right, going to John Commando, new writer inner person. If John Matrix was made into a HeroClix figure, what would his dial look like? What would win in a Texas Tornado arm wrestling match between the members of D-Generation Clicks? Top 5 action movies for each of you, and why are they all Arnold movies? So I guess this was a lot of questions at once. I didn't bother to read it because this person is terrible. Just like...
Well, let me just state for the record that at least they got the fact that it was a listener's question segment. So that's a pretty good start for some of our listeners.
I think that this is is this the new Westpool? John Commando is Westpool?
I don't know. We did not get any West questions today, so he
I know,
broke his
but we
streak.
have a John Commando.
Because
Is
the
John
community
Commando West?
killed poor Wes last time. I mean, Wes takes a beating as it is anyway. When other people are going in on him in the question thread.
I would take
Poor
another
Wes.
9 questions from Wes over any questions from this John Commando or Recyclops Root any day.
Yeah.
So
I just don't know why he's telling you he's not wearing underwear. I don't need to know that.
John Commando.
Yeah.
What is John Matrix? I don't know. What is that?
Commando. That's Arnold's character from Commando.
Is John Matrix?
Yes.
Okay.
He would be like the ABPI 100 Winter Soldier. That's what he'd be like. Just
Sergeant
a killing
Ron.
machine.
2 range attacks.
No.
Mhm.
No. What's his name? But GI Robot. He's gonna be in modern. His dial's GI Robot.
I like that. I could get with that.
I'm fine with that.
What is a Texas Tornado arm wrestling match?
Everybody's
We're
in
all
the ring
sitting
at
at
once.
the same time.
Yeah, so how does that... So everyone's holding hands at the same time wrestling each other? Like a circle?
I guess so.
I'm
It's got to
well.
be.
Let me.
Yeah, 2.
Yeah. I'm not winning.
I'm
So
definitely
I'm
not
out. I'm
winning.
out first. Yeah.
You think you're out first? I thought it'd be me, honestly.
No, it'd be me. I'm not arm wrestling anybody.
It's gonna end up being me and Redman, and I'm gonna win because I'm gonna be tickling his feet with my toes.
That's just going to motivate me more.
I love that.
Lose.
This got a little sexy.
I know it did.
Top 5 action movies for each of you, and why are they all Arnold movies?
I'm not giving 5 movies to this guy.
I'm not gonna give 5 either. None of them are Arnold movies.
Yeah.
They're actually all Hulk Hogan movies. Okay, we got Suburban Commando, No Holds Barred, Thunder in Paradise, Three Ninjas, High Noon at Mega Mountain, and then we are also gonna have Assault on Devil's Island.
It's not hot.
I do like the Three Ninjas throw
That
in
doesn't
there.
work for me, brother.
Oh yes, Dave Dragon, underrated.
Dave Dragon. All right, going to Dylan Barrett. With seemingly no The Thing and Smash and Destroy, when do you think we will see the Fantastic Four return? It was weird that we got like almost back-to-back Fantastic Four sets and then nothing for years. Wasn't it? There was only like one
was
set
Empire
between, right?
Yeah, there was maybe 2, but yeah, there wasn't much. It was like boom, there was Fantastic Four, and then there was Fufo the next year. I think there was 2 sets in between, but it wasn't much.
Was there? I want to check that out. But usually we get a set that revolves around characters from like a big movie, so I'm surprised that we actually don't have one coming out this summer since Fantastic Four is back.
Hold on, I'm looking right now. So
I
Fantastic
want
Four
Pineapple Thing.
Fantastic
That's what I
Four was
want.
2020, and then Fufo was 2021. So there was between Fantastic Four, there was SVAC and House of X.
So just 2?
And that was it.
Yeah, so
there
that was kind of weird.
That's what I said. I thought there was like 2 sets in between. There wasn't much space.
Would you? I
That
know
was the
Fantastic Four was in the name of Empire, but it didn't really feel like a Fantastic Four set
No,
with
but
all
we
the
got
other
all
stuff they
4
threw in there.
members.
I guess.
There was tons.
No,
There was tons of everything in there.
I just sent the picture of who I want. I hope that he's gonna be like a super rare that hasn't been seen as Pineapple Thing
Oh, that's cool.
when he was mutated again. It was the only time that he beat, because this is also during the time when Hulk was Mr. Fix-It, so it was the one time when Thing actually definitively beat the Hulk. So I'd like to see that.
I wouldn't mind getting a like a box set, kind of like what we just got, like the Bifrost one, or they did the Asgardian Fantastic Four before. I think that would be a great Worlds box set for the movie.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
But we're definitely due for a modern set that focuses on Fantastic Four. When did Empire even rotate out? Is it
2 years ago?
2? Yeah. So it's been a while since those characters have been like in modern.
Well, hold on. Let me see. What did we have with that keyword? I guess is what I'm gonna look at and see if we had anything appear with that keyword. 'Cause I think the keyword is snuck in there a little bit here and there. But I
Yeah, we
don't
have
think-
She-Hulk.
Yeah,
You're talking about
But I don't
Fantastic
think
Four
I'm-
keyword?
that's what I'm looking for. Hold on a second. So newer, there's the Spider-Man from Spider-Verse, the Uncommon. There's Ant-Man. There's the Gauntlet Panther. There's Agatha. There's a couple things from the Hellfire Gala. There's Spider-Man and She-Hulk, Compound Hulk, Robbie Reyes, the Rare Ghost Rider, the Alejandro Ghost Rider, and that's it for modern right now. Oh, and then Wolverine and She-Hulk, obviously because it's She-Hulk. But yeah, we really haven't had the keyword even mentioned that often in modern either. So
When you think Fantastic Four, though, I mean, you think of the main 4, maybe Valeria
yeah.
and
They're
Richards.
the
What's
first
his name?
family.
The kid. Yeah. What's the kid's name? Franklin, yeah. So those are the pieces that we need to get, but I think a box set would be cool.
I was
At the
Just
very
legacy
least.
card, both sets. Just release them as legacy cards for both sets. Just make them all modern legal again.
Well, the thing
Make it
is
happen.
that like the sculpts from Future Foundation and Fantastic Four for those characters, I don't even think were like that great or memorable, were they? Maybe Human Torch.
Torch was okay. The chases and some of that were good because they were the like the Battle World or the Secret Wars like versions of characters because like Sue, the alternate like version of Sue or whatever, and you had like the kids, but
But if you were gonna legacy something from Fantastic Four, Empire, or Future Foundation, is there any like standout that are still more basic and not like the Goblet Torch or Battle World or something like that? Because they were
Probably
all
not.
like CURs that were pretty plain.
The rares were pretty good though, as far as like strength. They played really well together, but yeah, beyond that, I don't like have anything specific that's like, oh hey, do this.
Yeah.
But if you're talking purely for aesthetic purposes, yeah, no, I don't have a good alternative for that.
All right, going to Caleb Cadeau. What is the best Cheez-It flavor? Mine is extra toasty. Well, Cheez-Its suck, Caleb. My kids like them, and we have them frequently in the house, and I don't know why, but I'll have one, and then I can't stop eating them, and they're not good. But let me tell you a story about why Cheez-Its really suck. So about 20 years ago, they made a Cheez-Its product called Twisters, and they had this flavor, what was it, Hot Wings and Cheesy Blue, I think it was called, and it was the most magical flavor of any cracker or chip that you've ever had. And then it was just gone. And I actually, for the one time ever, I emailed the company and asked where it was, and their response was that it was discontinued and that I should try one of their other shitty flavors. And I did try that flavor, and it was not good. And so that's why I hate Cheez-Its.
That was such a great flavor.
The
only
Hot
Cheez-Its
Wings
I will
Cheesy
eat
Blue?
is when they were at
You've had it?
Costco. Yes, that was. Oh yeah,
Dude,
no,
I could eat a
that-
whole box of
that
those
was
in
about
one
the same-
sitting.
oh. Yeah, yeah. I ate those and the chicken and the biscuit. Those crackers,
Those were bad.
so good. You never had chicken and a biscuit?
No, I have. I said those aren't bad.
Yeah. No, the only Cheez-Its I will eat is when Taco Bell makes the big Cheez-It Crunch Wraps, where they use the giant
damn it,
Cheez-It.
Miles! God damn it, Miles!
Those are good. Those are good.
I love how in sync you two are. Like, good lord, it's like you share half a brain.
They're so good.
I wanted to say I was a little worried about the lack of numbers of questions because last time we had 752, but we've had some great moments tonight. Going back down the Cheez-It memory lane, Redmond's correct; those were amazing.
Yeah,
And Cheez-Its do by and large just suck.
Yep.
They're just so unsatisfying, right?
But
No,
you
it's why
still
you keep
eat them.
eating.
I don't know. It's got to be the salt,
Right.
honestly, on them, right? They're not good.
Yeah.
But I just keep
Right.
eating handfuls of them once I've had one,
Correct.
and I kind of hate myself when I do it.
But Miles is once again correct as he usually is. The Cheez-It Crunch Wrap was amazing.
It was. I agree. Dan.
I'm just not a big fan of Cheez-Its. I also honestly, that's not my shtick. So
Now, did you ever try the Hot Wings and Cheesy Blue Twisters from Cheez-Its?
probably
Dan
not.
would have been 2.
I don't know. Maybe
no,
he got
they were
that in a juice box or something.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
the 2-year. That's what I'm getting as a 2-year-old where I don't
Oh,
even have.
the Gerber Cheez-It. He had the Gerber Cheez-It hot wing, and yeah.
Gerber Cheez-Its.
So, Redmond, I want to just piggyback on your story.
Yeah, absolutely.
So my wife and my son have this one particular talent, and it's to find something and like it so much that it just never gets made again. And over the years, there's been so many things. So essentially, if we go to the store and we try a new flavor or something, and Logan and Amber are like, "Dude, this is awesome. This is amazing." I'm like, "Well, we're never gonna see this again now. Thanks, guys." And it just happens so consistently.
I feel like
It's
that does happen.
unbelievable to
Yeah.
me. Yeah. Oh, God, that was great. Thanks for the Cheez-It question.
All right, last question is from David Durand. New to HeroClix, and I have to say you guys do an awesome job. Can't wait to meet you guys eventually. With the competitive scene wide open, do you guys think there is anything flying under the radar? Well, hi, David. Thanks, and thanks for checking us out. Adepticon just showed us that there's honestly a ton of viable options to play. And then with HC units, I think it's really hard for pieces to just completely fly under the radar. Maybe that's just us too, looking kind of in depth with a lot of these things. But I think there's a lot of stuff or at least a decent amount of stuff in Spider-Verse that has potential. And like I was saying, it was a little too early for people to build with it for Adepticon. But Prime Spider-Ham, Prime Craven, and then I think some of the Sinister Syndicate pieces like Mysterio, Sandman, and Legacy Swarm are all things that I'm looking at least right now that I don't think anyone else is really looking at, or as many people are.
Collector Trove chases. I think that Doom is seeing enough play. I think that there's one or two Gauntlet chase, and I really think Agatha and Scarlet Witch aren't seeing enough play. And even Doctor Strange. I think all 4 of the Darkhold chases are absolutely insane, and they are flying under the radar.
Do you think some of this stuff will be a little more viable after rotation? Or do you think
potentially? I still think I think Agatha actually has a place in Modern now, especially with Past, and now you get the team up card.
Okay. Dan, do you have anything you think's kind of flying under the radar?
I really want to make Loki work. I think he's going to be fun. Cause Don's going to go away soon, and he won't be around in Silver, so I want to try something with him because there's definitely something there.
Okay. Pete, do you have anything?
Damn it, Miles. Yeah, he's right. That team up card makes Past even better.
Yeah,
Make them all Avengers.
You bring in so much more variety to Past too. Like,
yeah,
the options are nuts.
I love that Agatha piece. I keep looking at it. It's just super fun to play too. I think honestly, Sinister Syndicate is coming. I think when you start to look at everything that you can do and what they all do together, yeah, that is the thing. So I think that's a very viable team.
True. One other thing that I want to say is Supergirl, the rare. She just is criminally underplayed. Like, she's so
the
good.
Bloodstone. Yeah, the Bloodstone makes people not want to play.
With Collector picking up, like, she's like, yeah, cool, you're a Colossal. I'm +1 stats now, and then I'm +1 again when you try to shoot at me. So I'm a 20 defense myself.
So that's an interesting point because people are forgetting all the other things she does because they're only counting on the healing.
Yeah, like she's just like an amazing attacker. She shoots through everything.
Everything, yeah.
And literally everything. So, like, she's great. Like, she's on one of my teams right now. It's her and Prime Craven. So.
Yeah, she's really frustrating to play against.
And her and Fortify is dumb. Oh look, Fortify and Supergirl. Thanks for doing no damage with that attack.
I think the Collector's Trove chases haven't really had the chance. They kind of get overshadowed right now because everybody wants to play those other
Doom still sees
one
play.
shots.
Yeah,
but you can't play other one shots on your sideline. So I think that kind of hurts because everybody wants to play like Rivalry, or they have some trick with Cannon Event. And then now you're going to have the other ones from Spider-Verse too. Like, what is it, the web slinging one? That's pretty crazy. Yep. So I think it's hard to throw one of those on there, but they do enough. I think they're just written off because of that. And then Spider-Man, all the Spider-Verse stuff, there hasn't been anything where people are really playing them. What saw play at Adepticon? It was really...
It was Cannon Event for sure.
And then
Cannon Event was on 2 Camo builds.
Okay, and then what about like Spider-Ham? Were you the only person to play Spider-Ham?
There was one other person.
No, someone else was. They went 0-3 though. And they had a really good team because it was Spider-Ham, Kong, and like Ghost Rider and a few other things too. Chair Panther.
Was there anything else though that you remember seeing from Spider-Verse?
I'm not really, honestly. I'm double checking it now, but I don't really think there was a lot.
It was kind of already decided for the most part, I think, from Champion Clicks, and that's what was on everyone's radar. And exactly what I thought is that when you have that happen from Champion Clicks to Adepticon, there's just not enough time to team build and theory craft. And even if the piece is good, it usually you don't have the time to put in the reps to play it and make it good. I'm not seeing anything.
I agree because like I've wanted to play like a few different things, but it's just I haven't had the time to put in the reps to be confident with it. You know what I mean? Like, there's definitely like I could play a team, but if I don't understand like how it works in and out, like I'm not gonna be able to like maximize its effect. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So only 2 figures were main forced. It looks like from
Spot and
Spider-Ham.
Yeah, and Spot doesn't even show up until the 23rd most played team, and out of 35 teams, he was only on 3. So it just didn't get a chance, I don't think, to break into it. But now that you can kind of start to see what some of these pieces do, and I think they're going to be kind of hidden gems right now. And even what do you see out of Collector's Trove? Like we just talked about, the chases. There was one person playing
I think
Doom.
Battery Bill. Yeah, Battery Bill was only one person playing Bill, and I think I think he's criminally underrated.
Yeah, he's worth the 60 points just to stop the damage and turn off the power
Well,
cosmic.
no, yeah. So him and 3 Outwits, Collector's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if Collector's, they can't use willpower. The other figures like Colossus doesn't get willpower. Hadari doesn't get willpower.
Yeah. Well, Collector will still get it because he's colossal, but yes.
Yeah, he'll get that. Yeah, no, but that's why I was saying specifically for other figures. But yeah, you're able to triple outwit him, and he's just dead. You can drop an instant metal. Yeah.
Juggernaut from Collector's Trove is really underrated.
Yeah,
he's great
for 80 points with the gem on him. He's awesome. Because there's a lot of things in modern meta where if you just walk up and hand him 2 damage, penetrating, like you're scoring points pretty quick.
So
he's only going to get better. I think he's only going to get better post rotation too, because if the barrel goes away and there's no substitute, how do you stop him?
Yeah, without the barrel, you're nothing stopping the Juggernaut.
Pete, you played Juggernaut at Champion Clix. Were there a lot of people that didn't know what he did?
Oh, a ton of people. Every time I played someone, they asked me to read the card because of the handing out adjacent damage to people.
Yeah, so I guess that would be...
And it was like...
Go ahead.
He was like... The people are like, wait, what is that? Does he have to do something? And I'm like, no, you just make a close attack, and then he just deals damage to people. And if I went through a wall, it's penetrating or blocking, and they're like, that's insane.
You can actually... It just says destroy a terrain. So if you're carrying an object and destroy it in an attack, you can do that
too. Because he's got super strength also, so you can go through a wall, grab something else, and you're stacked for 2 turns.
Because there's a difference between underplayed and under the radar, and I think that line is actually kind of blurry right now because I feel like a lot of people should know what Juggernaut does, but you're right. I don't think a lot of people understand that you can just run up and be adjacent and just do the damage after, even if you don't get an attack off.
Green Man, I mean, there's times Green Man's also he was on 5 teams at Adepticon. Dude, that piece is amazing. Like ridiculously good.
The Thor is just insane for 50 points.
The starter one, yes.
Yeah, and he wasn't at Adepticon at all, was he?
No, super rare.
Oh, I play tested him. I still think he's a trap because at 50 points, you got to kill him twice, but he dies real easy. That's my problem.
Well, you don't just send him out there. Yeah,
no, I'm not saying that. I just he's easy to manage, is what I'm trying to say.
That starter Thor has seen no play, and everybody was in love with it.
That's
a very reasonable attacker with really good keywords.
Reverse Flash was only on 1 team. Yeah,
that's wild.
It's really hard to honestly say what's under the radar and what's just underplayed. But I think, I think the biggest thing with under the radar is the newer stuff that people just haven't put the time into yet. But I think that goes back to even, like we just said, like Collector's Trove. The chases, there's a lot of people that just don't know what the chases do because they're not on anyone's radar and they haven't seen enough play. What was before...
that was the same thing with Doom. Nobody knows what Doom does. They're just like, what? They have no... I sat next to Nate enough times during Adepticon where they're just like, what does he do? And I'm like, oh boy, it's going to take a minute to explain that.
Yeah, so that's definitely like flying under the radar because people just don't know what this piece does. But I think, again, that there hasn't been a ton of events since Collector's Trove. What was before Collector's Trove? Black Panther, right?
Panther.
I think that's been out long enough that there's nothing that's flying under the radar in there, right?
Prime Panther's underplayed, but yeah.
Well, yeah, but that's exactly though. He's like Prime Panther. He's underplayed, but people still know what he does. So I think that's probably the easiest place to draw that line is just based off of events and when sets release. I don't think there's any hidden gems though in any of the other sets that people don't really know what they do at this point. Black Panther and before, I would say.
Yeah.
But thanks for writing in, David, and hope to see you at an event soon. All right, let's wrap this up. Do you have any final thoughts, Miles?
Looking forward to this weekend, so we shall see if I can take home the gold for Soldier. So it should be fun.
Yeah, I definitely want to talk about that next week for sure. Dan, final thoughts?
I'm a little sad, like the monthly's not for a couple more weeks yet, so but very excited for that coming up.
Yeah, it feels like it should be like next week and or this weekend even, and it's not.
Yeah.
Pete, what about you?
I laughed a lot tonight, so I really appreciate that. Yeah, that's it. I'm looking forward to the upcoming monthly and try to make it back to Mondays. Man, it was just not been a good run lately.
Yeah.
But other than that, I really enjoyed the podcast tonight, and thank you for making me laugh so hard to mute myself twice. So you guys have a good rest of your week.
Yeah, it feels weird not to have any events to be prepping for. I'm actually looking forward just to getting back to playing a little bit more of games on the fun side for a couple months. So that's where I'm at with that. But thanks for listening, and see you next time.
And if you're not down with that, we got 2 words for ya!
Click it!
I'm solar, la 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 la, I'm solar.
Loose skin and old balls. Gross.